Columbia University. Adam, well, this is a real mess, isn't it? I mean, this is one for the history books.
It really is, I think. And above and beyond the issues which Martin Wolf so precisely diagnosed, which are to do with the balance of the government budget, the balance between spending and taxing, I think there are two other variables here. One is the dysfunction in the gilt market. There is a ticking time bomb there in the various derivative contracts which pension funds have written on this market. And the other aspect here is the Bank of England, which has, in this moment, withdrawing its support for the gilt market. So this is a triple test, not just of the fiscal position of the government, but also of the stance of the Bank of England and the stability of the key financial market for the UK, namely the gilt market.
I'm just looking at the 10-year gilt, which actually rose again, basically 4.4%, 4.39%. So gilt yields are up. That has a dramatic effect on UK government borrowing and essentially wipes out any advantage that they make from these tax cut reforms.
It will do that, but I think the even more severe consequence of this is that it drives interest rates up across the board. And as we know, right, the UK housing market is one of the hottest in the world, or at least was one of the hottest. And it's the foundation, of course, of the balance sheets and the wealth of the British middle and upper middle class. And when that, as it were, feeds its way through to increasing mortgage interest rates, and they adjust much more quickly in the UK than they do in the US, for instance, this is going to have a hugely recessionary impact. And that, the shrinking of GDP, the shrinking of aggregate demand, will do the real damage to the government budget. You can forget, under those circumstances, the tax cuts and so on.
When I listened to the Prime Minister today, and I heard the Business Secretary, Jacob Rees-Mogg, earlier in the week, both of them still suggesting that nothing to see here, Gov, wasn't our fault, wasn't our policy. It's all to do with their war and to do with those people at the Fed raising interest rates. Do you buy that?
Well, it's certainly true that the Fed's push to raise interest rates since the beginning of this year is putting pressure on everyone. But you've got to ask yourself, where are the weakest links? So Sri Lanka tumbles. That's perhaps not surprising. The real question mark is how a British government managed to put Britain in harm's way. And it isn't, as I say, not simply a matter of the British government. It is also here a question of the Bank of England playing cat and mouse with the gilt market. But that's the question that's got to be asked. Not why there is pressure globally, but why Britain has become one of the weak links in the global chain.
I'm reading your recent article. You talk about the need for greater coordination on macroeconomic policy. In this programme, we're going to hear numerous finance ministers saying that the issue needs to be how we coordinate our policies. And so on and so on and so on. But I don't think they're going to be able to. I don't even think really they're going to collaborate in a sense. They're all going to do it for their own individual countries.
And if they do, the risk is that they tighten too much, right? Because what they're not going to factor in is the spillover effects, which could come through currency appreciation, so beggar thy neighbour currency wars, not in the sense of chasing currencies down to more competitive levels, but chasing currencies up to less inflationary levels. And the other really worrying side effect here is that as everyone deflates, aggregate demand in the entire global economy shrinks more than we actually need it to shrink by. And so we could really be steering, or if you like, sleepwalking, towards a global contraction here that could become extremely severe in 2023. And the worry again is, where are the weak links? What breaks when you do that? Which bits of the financial system prove to be non-robust, like we saw in the pension funds in the UK gilt market? And which economies are the least well prepared for the recessionary shock ahead?
Adam, we'll talk more in the days and weeks ahead. You're in New York. Hopefully, God, you'll join me in the C-suite in the sky. We'll talk more about this. I'm grateful for your time today. Thank you. Now.